is people often ask, like, how do I enter into Hollywood? How do I enter into these rooms? And so hearing you kind of discuss about having you discuss kind of being self-taught. I mean, for us, oftentimes we think we're waiting on something. We're waiting on someone to tell us, oh, your story is good enough. And for me, when we see The Cleaning Lady, it's that validation that our stories, our narratives, and our culture really matter. You know, we don't need that validation. I think that's really what I take from this and through the journey that you've all been through. And kind of going off of that, can you describe to us, Miranda, what was kind of the conception of The Cleaning Lady, and how, tell us the journey of how it got to being greenlit?
Yeah, so I was working on a show called The 100 and with Warner Brothers, and so after working for them for a few years, they offered me what's called a blind script deal. And so what happens then is I pitch them a few ideas, they pitch me a few ideas, and one of them was this Argentinian format, La Chica que Limpia, which is the girl who cleans. And so I basically thought, well, what actually interested me in adapting this particular project was to have a story about an undocumented immigrant and really, you know, tap into a lot of those real topical issues that affect so many people today. And so also, you know, Shay Mitchell was the one who found the original concept, and I thought, well, she's half Filipino, so why not make this character Filipino? And there was also an experience that I had earlier in my life when I traveled to Hong Kong. And it was a Sunday, and I was just shopping downtown, and I turned a corner, and there was thousands and thousands of Filipinos sitting on the street. You know, they were congregating, they had their lunches, they had their, you know, they were sitting on plastic bags or cardboard boxes. And it really struck me, it really moved me that these people were being treated like second-class citizens. And so when I started developing this project, I felt like, you know, the Filipino community is a community that has been in the shadows, they've been marginalized, and I really wanted to be able to put a spotlight on these people and their stories and these characters. Woo! And so it really was about giving voice to people who haven't had a voice before. I mean, that's the whole premise of the show, right? Is to highlight, you know, people, and you don't, you know, you look at somebody, you think they're your cleaning lady, and they're not educated. Like, no, there's a doctor, there's a nurse, and there's so much behind a person that you don't consider so much of the time. So that was really important to me, and so the way it works with these projects, with Warner Brothers in particular, like they basically said, okay, they go out to their different writers to say, well, you know, pitch a take. And so I pitched the Filipino take, and it came back to me like, yeah, we want to hear more. We want to develop it with you. So I developed it. I was actually still working on The 100, so I was working full-time on that show, and then developing Cleaning Lady on the weekends. So it was about a 5-month process to get the pitch ready, and then pitched it to 5 networks. Oh, what was interesting though is that I thought that this project, you know, it was like a female Breaking Bad, but like female Asian Breaking Bad, and I assumed that we would just pitch it to cable because that's where a lot of shows like this would land, especially with an, you know, predominantly Asian cast. And Warner Brothers at the time said, well, we actually think that there's a much larger appetite for diverse voices, marginalized voices, and now we think it's actually a good time to pitch broadcasts. So I was like, okay, like I don't want to change the story. This is the story I want to tell, but like, sure, we'll go for it. And we pitched 5 networks. Fox was the first, and they picked it up immediately. And when they did greenlight the series, they actually said, you know, we recognize that we'll probably have to find lesser known talent to play, you know, Tony and Fiona, and we are so excited to do that. We're so excited to find new voices and new voices to highlight and put on screen, and these guys have been just rocking it. So,
Amazing. So let's take it over to Martha, who plays Fiona. Can you tell us, what was your reaction to reading the full script for the first time?
I mean, I was in shock. I was like, oh my God, they're actually really going to do a Filipino TV show, and then on top of that, on Fox and a primetime network. I was just like, I'm sure we're going to get like segued somewhere, but no, I mean, it was, I mean, for me, I saw the heart of the show was the family, and in terms of their struggles, and but that was something that was just completely surprising that, that yeah, we were going to be at the forefront of a primetime network in terms of celebrating our culture, really humanizing these characters and breaking down the stereotypes that Miranda, you know, really wanted to pursue. So it's just something that is like groundbreaking. And I remember saying that the first time, like, yeah, it is groundbreaking. I mean, like, you don't see this anywhere. And it's, again, even though it is completely unique in every way, it tells the American dream in such a unique way, and at the same time, these people they're humanized in a way that you know who they are. It's not just Filipinos. This is everybody's experience, and I think that that's what Miranda's plight in terms of telling a story where these characters are relatable to everyone because they're going through so many things.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point. I think one of the things is when